Hey guys, what's up? My name is Lee. I'd like to welcome you to this video where I'd like to give you an update on the car configuration project, and I'd also like to talk about how some of these features are put together, as I've had quite a few questions about how that works. Now, first thing I want to say is if you watched my tutorials before, actually most of this that you see in here is actually just based off that. If you follow those tutorials, you're probably going to get something like this, pretty close to this anyway. However, I want to show you the small updates that we got and then talk through how some of these features are put together. So hopefully I can clear up some questions for anyone who is interested. And if you still have questions after that, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so let's get into this and then let's talk about how some of these features work. So first things first is you can notice that basically the exterior of the car is or I guess nearly 100% complete. We now have the fans in here, we have the wheels in, we have the spoiler on, and I've changed the default color to this silver material. I like this a little better. So yeah, basically we have the exterior of the car in. Now we still don't have an interior. This is something that I'm going to be working on now or soon, I guess. Now on the left hand side you see I've got a little bit of a UI. We're going to talk a little bit about how this works in a moment, but yeah, it's a little rough, it's not perfect, it's not what I want to use, but it gets the job done for now. So first thing is we can still change the color of the car with the paintbrush. We can change the window tinting if we'd like. We can still change the lights, so we can still turn these on and off, and this is still controlling the front and the back. There we go. And the last feature I've got here, which is not fully functional, it doesn't actually work yet, but it is here as a temporary basis, is that we can change the camera from this outside camera to this interior camera. And as you can see, now we're inside. However, I can't move the camera around and look around, and that's okay because there is nothing in here yet to be seen. And if I press this again, we're going to exit. So let's press the escape key. I'm going to press the F11 key, and let's have a look at how some of these things, some of these features are built. So I guess the first thing we're probably going to look at is the widgets. Look at how we can display widgets on the screen, and then how we can click them to change the assets. So let's open up widgets, and you can see I have this Jaguar watermark. This is actually the main UI. It's called watermark because I think first of all I put this watermark here at the top. Anyway, so basically what we have in here are 3 buttons. So we can create a button over here. We just click button and drag it out. And I've set the icon in each one of these image slots, which is given as the custom button icon here. Alright, and if we just jump over to the graph, let's see what we have here. So what we're basically doing here is we're saying on clicked we want to flip flop. So a flip flop is going to go from state A to state B, and flip flop on number A we've got create car paint widget, and basically what that's referencing is this other widget right here. So this car paint widget is the one with the icons along the bottom. So here you can see we have the 3 color selection pickers for the car. So we're going to create that widget, and then we're going to add that widget to the viewport, and then we want to set the import mode in game UI, and then after that we want to remove remove from parents. Now the remove from parents is what that's basically doing is saying that any other widget that we have, so in this case we have 2 other widgets that are potentially available to be clicked, are actually going to be removed once we click this for the first time. Now on the B, we just got the remove from parent. So basically what we're doing is that if we press this again, it's gonna remove itself by plugging itself back into the original create car paint widget. And then from here we need to set the game loading UI to be the player controller, so we get the correct outcome. Now basically I've done that 3 times, and the only difference at the end is this remove from parents at the end of each section. So every time the flip flop is on A, At the very end, we've got remove, and basically this is the window. So if we click this, we want to remove this widget. So if it's still selected or still active, it's now going to be deactivated. And same with the final widget here, the widget for the lights. We're also going to remove that. So basically, we do that 3 times, and we can keep adding to this as we move add different features in here. But that's basically it. So this is basically doing is going to display the icon on the left hand side, and once we click it, we're going to get the options that will appear along the bottom. Now below that we have the camera switch. Okay, so this is really easy to do. So basically what we're saying is that on click, so once we click that button, we want to flip flop. We want to get all actors of a class, and so basically what this is doing, this is referencing another blueprint. So in this case, we've got the exterior camera. So if I go over to my blueprints and choose cam, we basically got this interior, my fault, interior camera. And basically we plug that interior camera in over here, and then we want to possess it. So possession is basically going to allow us to control another asset as the main player. So because we want to do that, we want to set that to be the play controller, and then we just want to get that for the out action. And then on the B, we basically do the same thing, but we just switch the camera back to the camera in which we can orbit around our mesh. So that's how we click these and display the actions along the bottom. So let's have a look at an example of how we can change the material here. So I'm going to open up the blueprint. I'm going to open up the car blueprint. All right. And in the car blueprint, if we just go over to the viewport here, you can see that I've created a blueprint where the only things inside here are the actual mesh, which is going to have the same material. So in this case, we just got the main body here. And I have input these into the editor and into Unreal as separate meshes. And the reason I've done that is so I have the ability to delete these, and then to change or the ability to change them inside a blueprint. So if I want to, for example, change this spoiler, we can remove these in the blueprint because they're separate pieces, and then we can just add another piece here so it looks like there's no spoiler. And so on and so forth. Like maybe we want to change the design of our wing mirrors or the front part of our car or something. So that's the reason why I've set it up like that. It would be more efficient game-wise if this was all one mesh and it was inputted and all the UVs was all on one UV island. That would be optimized. But as it's only a small project, that's not really my concern. Anyway, so basically what I do is I drag a reference out to all of these, and I can just drag a reference out by left click and dragging them out. And basically we have this option here. This is a custom event. So we create a custom event just by typing custom event, and we create a custom event. I'm going to call this blue paint. And basically what I do is I say blue paint sets material, and the target is the asset in which you would like to change the material. So in this case, everything. And then the material. So the material you created would be in here, and you just set that. So you want to do that for each one. So I got blue, orange, and silver paint. So these are the only 3 colors I got right now. And we basically go through the same thing. So we create a custom event, call this blue paint. We set the material, set the targets to be all of the meshes, and that's it. And we set the material here at the bottom, and we do the same thing at the very last thing over here. So let's close this. Once we've got the material set up to do that, what we can then do is in the widgets. So let's go to car paint and open up the widget. So we have the same icons here. We do the same thing. We set the images, and then we can choose on clicked. And then on clicked, well, what's it going to do? Well, on clicked, we're going to get all actors of a class. So this is similar to what we was doing in the previous blueprint. We want to make a reference to the actor class, in this case, the car body blueprint. And then once we've got all those actors, once we've got that blueprint, what we want to do is we want to call that custom event. So we call that custom event, which is called blue paint. And basically what that does is that makes that change for us. So this is going to on-click, get the actor, and change the color. It's pretty simple and really straightforward. So that's how we change the color of the car. This is exactly the same thing. We do exactly the same thing for the lights here, and exactly the same thing for all this plastic stuff here. So I have them separated into different blueprints. The reason I do that is just so I get a little bit more control over each different piece. I just think I just like to do it like that. We could add it all into one blueprint, but I'm just going to keep them separate for this particular project. Alright, so we've talked about how we can change the color of the car. We talked about how we can change the tinting and how to change the lights. So I think that's covered about changing all of these. What else is there to look at? So we create the widgets. Yeah, we've got the car paint. The blueprints. And yeah, I think that's about it. So like that's how we changed the material. We looked at how to change the camera. You can see here all the meshes. I just input them as separate pieces. All right, and yeah, I think that's about it. Now, we have our blueprint for our camera. I'm not going to go into that. It's a little more. Okay, so let's just open it. You can see here it's a little more involved in terms of the controls here, so I'm not going to talk about that. Alright, so the other things, maybe it's just some small things that people might be wondering, like the whole scene is lit using a HDRI map over here. So there's no other lights in the scene right now. And we have the HDR over here, and basically this is just a sphere. So if I just go to wireframe, you see it's basically just a sphere with the HDRI map applied to that. And yeah, I just think that's about it. Yeah, widget, starter content, we've got the sky. I have some background music which I disconnected for this presentation, I guess. Car paint, blueprints. Now, yeah, I think that's it. So the last thing I guess I can just mention is that if we have say the headlights, and we want to change the material, so we have these. So you see here in the car we have different meshes. And that's basically so we can have everything separate out, which is okay for this project. Now, if you had one mesh and you wanted to, if you had all this connected as one mesh, so you had the glass and the light here, and it's all one mesh, but we have like textures on here. The one that has like the lights turned on and turned off. Basically we can control the element ID, which is basically the material ID here. So if we just wanted to change, say, element 2 or element 3 or something, we can also do that in here. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop the video here because I don't really think there's too much more I can talk about in here. If I have missed something you'd like to know, then please don't hesitate to ask me. Leave a comment in the section below. Hopefully you like it. If there's something that I didn't cover that you'd like to see, something I missed or skipped, please also let me know in the comments below. In the next video when I have an update, I will probably put that in there. And if you're not already subscribed, I would recommend that you subscribe if you want to get this project, because if you subscribe and turn on notifications, then you'll know once this project has been fully released. The next thing I'm gonna work on is getting the interior in here, have some interior customization, maybe add some more variety to the color of the car. I'm probably gonna work on the internal camera system here so they can look around. And then maybe at the end, if I have enough time, I'll look at maybe adding some animations and swapping the meshes out here. So maybe we can switch the spoiler out so we don't have a spoiler or something like that. But in any case, like I said, I'd like to stop this video here. I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye for now.